Good morning and welcome. We are proud to present Michael Therrien and Hugh Brooks with Verizon. Please come on in, have a seat, and enjoy their presentation. Give them a hand.
So my name is Hugh Brooks. I'm a director of Verizon's Virtual Network Services product organization. And so we work with providing software-defined network products and services. My partner here, Mike Therrien, is also he's a Verizon Distinguished Architect in the same area. So I'd like to cover a little history of how this talk emerged. Verizon over the last couple of years has gone ahead and done a lot of work internally with cloud provider clouds. And this is really, these experiences have influenced us with our product development. So we now see cloud alliances as being significant ways to improve our virtual network services. So what do I mean? This SD-WAN solution we'll talk about was originally set up so that it would be from our network into private clouds and then eventually a direct connect into AWS. With the new thinking, what we're doing is actually moving that processing and running it within Amazon's cloud, within AWS cloud. And the value of that is it's our best way we can get really direct contact and access for your applications, the network, and support. And then on our side, it also helps us create services much more quickly because we've got our automation linked in with a service provider, with a cloud provider's automation as well. So these relationships are very very important to us. We want to get our clients greater control of their mobile to cloud transactions, and then also a greater on-demand user experience. So that, Mike, I'll turn it over to you to talk a little bit about the product.
Thank you, Hugh. Appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time out to come over here again. I'm Mike Therrien from Verizon. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. I think I'm going to just open with a quick statement. If my voice is a little froggy today, it's because anybody in the Eastern Seaboard knows you can't adjust overnight to the new time zone quickly like you used to. So up at 2 o'clock in the morning, we got a long day and a lot of caffeine in front of us. So, okay, as Hugh was alluding to, Verizon, right? So if we hear journey to the cloud, you hear cloud adoption, you hear digital transformation. These are initiatives or examples of initiatives that's impactful to businesses, to service providers, customers over the last few years because they're starting into that journey. Well, that includes Verizon and the way that we actually are going about our business as well. So a few years back, we took a look at our strategies. We took a look at our operating model, our product direction. We created a plan that essentially put our organization on a path to achieve new levels of speed, innovation, and the way we create our product portfolio. So a couple years into our path or our journey, we've now successfully refined and modernized engineering, processes, core infrastructure so that it's faster, more efficient, and effective for our business and customers. So essentially, we're shifting to DevOps. We're shifting to a public cloud first delivery option, and we've implemented a secure enterprise-grade cloud environment with our partner, AWS. So let's get into some very quick benchmarking demands about what's going on in the marketplace today. So from Verizon's perspective, we go out and we take a look at our customers and we interview them, we ask them what's important to them. So for example, where are your growth? Where are you on your particular journey? So we found some pretty interesting statistics from our customers. First and foremost is that IoT is a major impactor on the way they deliver their business. Over 92% of 500 enterprise class customers that we interviewed have identified that as a top priority for 2017 and beyond. Well, to deliver a successful IoT deployment model, you're going to need to have an agile network services portfolio that can deliver the analytics, the security, and the overall performance to have all the nodes of an IoT deployment on path. Well, what about digital transformation? 70% of enterprises strongly recommend or recognize that a strong global network architecture is the foundation. And most importantly, the last bit of data up to the far right, what about customer end user experience? Again, 85% of the people that we interviewed said it's critical to their business, but only 50% of those people actually felt confident that they were actually doing customer experiences on a level that they needed to be done for their product portfolio, meaning they were missing their objectives and having a good, clean customer experience with their customers. So all are demanding elements of a network today that really requires agility and software-defined services capabilities in the marketplace today. So quick definition. So if we kind of look over here, and you look at, this is a fairly general slide, but it's software-defined networking. It should be on your right-hand side or on your left-hand side. Network function virtualization. We're taking the concepts of functionality and software and rolling them together and creating a portfolio which we call Verizon Network Services. The network services portfolio, its major objectives are speed to market, right? We need to empower our customers to basically be able to do point and click and deploy in days, not in weeks or months. We need to do it cost effectively in an as a service model. And we also want to do it with a high level of velocity, right? Speed to market. We need to empower them so that their customer end user experience is successful. So how are we going to do this? Well, we've talked about elements of a journey, and let's focus on the network services portfolio and what it is. So in our world, we've created a portfolio which sits at the center tier of this particular slide, and it's an orchestration tier. We create an infrastructure which allows us to provision, manage, and procure software tool sets to our customers based off different functionality items. Software-defined WAN, security, WAN optimization. And on the bottom, you're going to see that how can it be deployed? Does it need to be hybrid between a cloud provider option, or does it need to be premise-based? We want to be able to make sure that we deploy this with white box technology or virtualization software technology, all in a CapEx, OpEx, and agility-like model. One more slide that's going to talk a little bit about the objectives. So let's get into software-defined branch edition. So as we worked with our internal product teams, we had a challenge. We needed to make sure that we utilized that single orchestration tier, but we wanted to create a repeatable infrastructure so we could extend quickly into customers who have deployed VPCs, applications, workloads running on AWS, but they want a uniform kind of connectivity model. So what we've done, some of the challenges are helping the customers kind of move the application workloads from prem into the cloud infrastructure. You need to increase the overall user experience, right? It's more than just having a Verizon Enterprise Console which reports on the health of the devices. You need to actually also give them the ability to make decisions, put policies in place, have actual results so that you're deploying in a secure manner. And lastly, we need to make sure that it's done in a secure kind of model. So our solution and our fabric is we've created an ecosystem of partners. We target a few of these vendors. We give our customers options. And what we do is we deploy nodes inside a VPC. So we'll create a concept of a transit VPC, which sits at the edge of a region, which basically creates secure connections between a customer's VPC and actually deploys into the devices. The endpoint devices that sit on the edge, which either are connected to the internet with a common connection, or you could actually use Direct Connect to go into, say, a private IP connection. It's regardless of end material. What we do is we allow you to kind of create definitions based off your priorities of the applications and create an application-aware routing scenario between the two paths. Let's switch over to one more slide. Yeah. So some of the value props over here that you're actually going to hear about it, and we've talked about a few of them over here, but the whole idea is that we want to create the service, allows you to connect, it allows you to leverage different functionalities such as encryption, secure segmentation. You want to make sure that you can do any application of your program or rule set right here. And then additionally, you want to be able to layer on additional security sets at the perimeter. Firewall services, IDS, IPS. These should be native services which you can leverage on top of your software-defined WAN and put them in place in parallel with your other environments. Here's a little bit of a map of how we actually envision this. So on the left-hand side over here, you're going to see corporate internet and internet connection, or corporate connections via maybe some sort of private IP, preferably Verizon being your preferred partner in the back end. The services don't really matter what the connections are. If you look at the purple representations, these are endpoint routing devices that are on either your internet connections or actually in your private IP connections. But you can see that on the bottom path, we see critical paths to different branch offices, or we have non-critical paths. The whole idea is that you're able to deploy very quickly into a VPC the devices to kind of create the IPsec VPN between a transit VPC and the edge point and create routing policies based off your particular preference. So we have an opportunity to kind of showcase a little bit more about the elements in this design. We can talk more a bit about it over at the booth if you'd like to come see us over there. Can definitely talk about it here today too if you'd like to do some quick Q&A with that as well. There are different elements that we have included in this design we haven't kind of called out. Secure Cloud Interconnect actually is one of the devices that allow us to actually utilize Direct Connect in this design. Every AWS region actually allows for secure cloud interconnect services from Verizon, simplistically connecting between the two and creating a VPN connection. So with that said, I would take a few minutes to take a few questions at all on the software-defined deployment. And if not, we can turn it back over to the team over here. All righty, well, thank you much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you.